Welcome to today's episode of the Declutter Hub podcast, your channel for super easy, no-nonsense advice on how to declutter and organise your home. Please welcome your hosts, professional organisers Ingrid Jansen and Lesley Spellman.
Hello and welcome, listeners, to episode 17 of the Declutter Hub podcast. I'm Ingrid.
And I'm Lesley.
If you have clutter and want to sort it out, this is the show for you. In today's episode, Lesley and I are talking about how you can save money when your paperwork is organized. Now, we realize that decluttering and organizing your paperwork is a massive job. But one of the great benefits is that you can start saving yourself a heap of money. So in today's episode, we will be discussing some of the things you can look into and get more organized with your money. Now, I love saving money, Lesley. So I'm really happy we're talking about this.
I think it's really important, isn't it? It's almost that final step in decluttering your paperwork where you kind of go through, you declutter, you organise, you categorise, and then you also write an action list of things that can be tackled. And you see that, sometimes you're seeing this paperwork for the first time for a long time, and you can say, oh God, I can't believe I need to double check that. I need to check that I'm not still paying for something that I shouldn't be paying for or something like that. And I think that's what today's episode's all about, isn't it? It's about reminding ourselves of some of the areas that we just let slip over time. We just forget about it. And then all of a sudden, the little £2 here and £5 there might mount up to quite significant amounts of money. And it's about not letting that slip by.
Yeah.
And being in control of your finances.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely true. I mean, I always, when I do a decluttering paperwork, I say to my clients, or when I do it myself, I have a notebook ready and a pen, and I make notes to myself, check that amount. Has that come out of the bank? I need to follow up on that. Look at my pension paperwork or anything, all those little things that are niggling in your head somewhere, or that you think, I lost track of that. Then this is the time to write it down, because you can actually really save yourself a lot of money. So I think the first thing to do is, though, to start with basics and to start with checking your bank statement and your credit card statement. What kind of money is coming in and where is it going to? And does it all make sense? I mean, I'm not talking about whole financial systems and Excel sheets, but just having a look on a regular basis, or if you're a little bit behind, sit down now when you've got it all organized, your paperwork, and go, right, where have I spent my money on in these last couple of months or year or whatever? And does it all make sense?
I think I'm in the habit of going into my banking app regularly because obviously I'm getting paid by clients, and so I go in to double check who's paid me and things like that. So I do probably go into my banking app every day, and that's really helpful because it just, I paid for that. Yeah, that makes sense. So it doesn't have to be this big chore once a month or once every 2 months to try and remember what you spent 2 months ago.
Yeah.
So I think that's really important to sort of do it on an ad hoc basis and maybe get that into your routines to check on a regular basis.
Yeah.
How much is going in and out. If you've only got 5 or 6 transactions a week, then you don't need to be going into it every day. But if you're spending more, or there's a lot of movement within that, it's just good to keep a check. I think the fraud teams are very good at picking things up that are fraudulent at the moment. But, the amount of fraud that I've heard about happening at the moment, it's quite scary, really. And we need to be the ones that are picking that up, really.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just last week, my lovely friend got hacked. And interestingly enough, it wasn't like a big amount, but it was £2 here, £3 there, £5 there, all from the same strange company. And just because she was really looking into her money also, because she checks her money regularly, she picked up on it really quickly, and she could block her accounts and call the bank, and they were really good. But I think that's the first basis, is already to be ahead of that and kind of pick up on those things before you've even really delved into your paperwork. It's just kind of, does it all make sense what's coming out and coming in? Yeah,
absolutely. So I think it is, is getting that into your routine and making it become a habit. And that takes a little while to go through, really. I mean, so that's banking. And while we're talking about banking, one of the things that have certainly, and I know a lot of people have, is a kind of bank account that you pay some money for each month. It's kind of I don't really know what it's called, but you pay some money each month, and for that you get some kind of banking benefits. So many people have got that, but the amount of people I come across who are not utilizing the benefits of that, you know, you might be paying, I don't know, 15, 20, sometimes £30 a month for banking. It comes with fantastic benefits for you, but people are then doubling up. And so with my banking, I get mobile phone insurance, I get car breakdown insurance, I get travel insurance. And these are all things that can save an awful lot of money, but you have to be really on it, I think, to know what the benefits are. I mean, mine's quite nice. I get money, things like that. So, and it's easy to forget about all those benefits. So you have to constantly sort of remind yourself of what's available and make sure that you're looking at the letters that come through when there are changes and things. So have a look, because some people are just not aware that they've got these benefits with their banking, or kind of think, oh, that doesn't, you know, that's not me, and forget it. So, you know, when I categorize within paperwork, filing cabinets or filing, I'll always keep that membership booklet that details every single benefit that you have, so that you can look and keep a track of it.
Yeah, excellent point. I mean, my husband lost his mobile phone over the summer. It's a long story. I won't bore you with it, but he lost his mobile phone, and he actually we realized that we pay a bit for banking, and we had a mobile phone insurance, and he could actually hand in his invoice for his mobile phone, and he got the money back. So we were absolutely delighted. And also when we've also got travel insurance, and when we go on holiday, I always double check to make sure that is the holiday fully insured, the sports that we're going to do, are they covered? So just to double check that we've got everything sorted. But I don't need to have a separate travel insurance for 99.9% of my holidays, which is fantastic. So I save money.
I think absolutely right. But I think the main saving for most people is the mobile phone insurance, because you're probably talking £5, £6, £7 a month, times however many phones. And if you're still in the business of paying for your almost grown-up children's mobile insurance, I'm sure I must have stopped that now. For many, you're paying for 5 phones, not one, and so and they smash their phones every 5 minutes as well. So it's quite useful to have that insurance. So it's things like that can really, really tot up. And I think a lot of time when you go in and you get a mobile phone, you automatically take, we'll take the insurance. It's only £3 or £4 a month. Completely forget about it. Then you change your phone contract and you forget that you had the insurance with the previous one. It's things like that you can pick up off your bank statement, and that you need to keep on top of, so that you don't hemorrhage that money away, and that all of a sudden that £4 has become, let me think about the maths, £48. Is that right? I was always quite good at maths, but maybe not now. That you can get that, that £48 a year. And then, sometimes I've come to people and it's been 5 years and this mobile phone insurance is still going on. And all of a sudden that's £200 or £300 that would be better off in our pockets than in theirs.
Yeah. And I think also the breakdown cover as well. I mean, you see a lot of people who've got their breakdown cover as well with the AA, which of course is fine, but if you're already paying for it in your banking, you're doubling up as well. So that's another saving you can do.
Yeah, it's really important not to double up on these things as well. And, and talking about those kind of things as well, shop around, definitely shop around for breakdown cover, for mobile phone insurance, for any kind of insurance, in fact, and have a look. There tends to be things in life that we just let auto-renew, and breakdown cover is one. But actually, they're as competitive as any other provider of, so we need to definitely look at AA, RAC, Green Flag. It's no longer just a one-size-fits-all and one company that can do that. Yeah. So absolutely look at that and shop around, because even if you're only saving £20 or £30, that's a night out, So absolutely need to save that. And it gives you that great buzz that we're talking about when you save some money.
Well, talking about insurances, I think, we've got several insurances. We've got car insurance, pet insurance, home insurance. Those are really big money eaters, especially car insurance. You really want to be on top of that. And when you don't just automatically renew your car insurance, you can save a lot of money by using money comparison sites and, updating your details and all of those things. Lots. I mean, sometimes even hundreds of pounds.
Yeah, I was working for somebody. So part of my job sometimes that I go and I sort of manage people's finances and help them pay their bills and things like that. And so I keep a check on their bank accounts and things as I'm doing that. And I noticed an insurance policy for somebody, you know, one of my clients was in her 70s. She was driving a little car around and her insurance was like £1,200. And I'm like, have you had an accident? Have you, you know, so I tried to get to the bottom of why it is. And she said, no, I just haven't done anything with it. I quite like being with, I can't remember, I better not say the name of the company. Would not be good. So, you know, I like being with that company, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, right, okay, let's have a look at this. And anyway, to cut a long story short, she'd just let it auto-renew for like the past 12 years. And when we actually looked at it, that £1,200 ended up being $280. You know, and that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money, isn't it? And so it's things like that. You know, just, you know, make a mental note next time your renewal comes round to spend a little bit of time looking at that and to see whether there are, you know, things are very, the market has to be very competitive now, and certainly for new thing. I think what we get is we get great deals at the beginning, but then it kind of tots up the following year. So you might get an introductory offering, and that's brilliant, 250. Next thing, they stick it up to 500, and you've forgotten to renew it and forgotten to go and check. And so I think it's really important to look at that for all insurances.
Yeah. Well, and not only insurance, Lesley, I think also a big expense is electricity and gas. And, you know, the companies are constantly changing their rates, changing their tariffs, change introductory offers. But once you are in a renewal system, it goes really, really quickly up. So that is definitely something you want to check every year if you can save some money, because that is a big expense for people, isn't it? Electricity and gas. I don't think really you can, water companies, I think they're all kind of the same in every area, but gas and electricity, you can definitely shop around.
Yeah, definitely. I guess there's people that are on water meters, but we're delving into a different place really here, which is about, you know, energy saving and saving money in terms of not having as many showers and things. But for the most part, I think that most water bills, if you're not on a meter, are like standard and you can't do anything about that because there's only one provider. Yeah. But, you know, the gas and electricity and the energy companies are very highly regulated now, and they can't get away with the things that they got away with years ago. Mm-hmm. So they actually have to send you things. You know, you get those things coming out, those letters saying it's going up, your rate is going up, just have a double check. And, you know, that should be the prompt to you to actually look and go in. You know, who's absolutely fantastic with this is the Martin Lewis website. I think it's called moneySavingExpert.com?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
You know, he's all about saving money, and there's so many fantastic resources in there, blogs, there's letters in there, there's what it tells you how to talk to the energy providers, everything. And there's also something that you can sign on, and it will alert you if there's a cheaper deal out there and things like that. So, you know, in terms of saving money, if that's one of your things for this year or whenever for the future, absolutely, Martin Lewis is fantastic. I love Martin Lewis.
Well, I tell you, I love him too, because my neighbor actually looked into council tax banding, and I had no idea what that was and she said, Ingrid, I've had my council tax band checks, and what we found out is in our street there were 2 or 3 different kinds of council taxes, while the bands, while the houses are all the same. And I actually just sent an email to my local council, and I was absolutely delighted beyond belief when I found out that I was in a wrong council tax band, and I had overpaid for 9 years, and I nearly got $3,000 back. And I was like, for a 5-minute email, and it was like, oh, yes, sorry, you're in the wrong council tax band. We're going to give you money back. And I thought, I'm not going to celebrate this until I see this money coming into my account. But seriously, and it was all due to Martin Lewis prompting my neighbor, and my neighbor telling me it was amazing.
Exactly. I think the council tax banding is definitely something to look at as well. And, you know, of course, council tax is big money every year, isn't it? And so if they reband you, not a lot of them will go back that far, but, you know, for council tax, if you've been overpaying for X number of years, then that's absolutely fantastic. And what a great, you know, benefit to have that money coming back in.
Yeah.
Okay, so we talked about gas, electric, you know, the same goes for broadband and TV. I mean, if I'm honest, it's a little bit of a game as well sometimes. And so again, Martin Lewis, you know, I will absolutely try and get, you know, I've got sort of Sky TV and I will call them and try and get them to save us money, to give us cut price or whatever. So it does become a little bit of a game as well. But I'm not paying, the price on the ticket. I want it cheaper than that because we've been they give lots of benefits and deals to new customers. But I've been with you for 15 years, and so I want the same thing. And so, sometimes it can be hard and you've got to hold your nerve. But certainly Martin Lewis, we love him. He will tell people how to do that. So make sure that you look at broadband and ring the providers. Yeah,
I know. Same with I'm with Virgin. Really happy with Virgin. We've got our TV and our broadband, and I think some phones and even a random landline. I think still here, but we call them on a very regular basis and go, listen. We've been long-term customers. You need to do better for us because you're sneakily putting the prices up by a couple of pounds all of a sudden every time, and it just really adds up. But of course, having good broadband is very important for me. So, you get what you pay for, obviously.
Yeah, definitely. You've got to look at, it can't just be about the cheapest option. It's also got to be about service and customer service and quality as well. Yeah. We talked briefly there about mobile phones. I think it's really important if you're in contract for your mobile phone, it's really, really important to know when your phone is out of contract so that because what happens, you might pay, I don't know, 25 or 30 pounds, I don't know, whatever your contract is, a month. And then when you get to the end of your 2 years, they're normally 2 years, aren't they? If you then carry on, you should be in a SIM only package after that, or you should change your phone to a new contract or whatever that might be. And so it's things like that, keeping on top of when your mobile phone, because they won't tell you. So we need to keep on top of that ourselves.
Yeah. I think also what I found a lot when I declutter paperwork is stamps, old checks, vouchers, little bits of money, little gift cards. All those little bits and bobs really, really add up. Great way. And there are expiry dates on some of the gift vouchers as well. So make sure that when you kindly receive a gift voucher from somebody, make a note of the expiry date so you can actually use it, because apparently there is millions of pounds of money worth in gift cards lying around here in the UK if people haven't even spent the things they've been given.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I always put my gift cards in my purse as soon as I get them, so that, the problem is then that they kind of burn in a hole in your pocket and you just want to go and buy something with it. So there's downsides in the decluttering world to have them in your purse as well, but at least they're in my purse. And if I decide that I want to buy something, then I can use that gift voucher then at the time. So I think absolutely, that's a really important point. And you talked about checks, I think, didn't you, as well? So we know that checks have normally, I think, only got 6 months on them. But there are some checks, things like dividend checks, things like premium bond checks, that kind of thing, that money is yours regardless of when that check was sent out. And so you can still go back and say, I didn't cash this check, so please resend it. Obviously, personal checks, that's not the case. You could go back to the person that wrote it to you and say, oops, sorry. But, I think quite often it's when people send checks for Christmas to people's kids and things like that. Those are the ones that don't get cashed. And it's such a shame, really.
I know. So lots and lots of ways to save money when you've got your paperwork organized. And I think overall, it's just so much nicer because you don't feel so much stress because you know that you're on top of things.
Yeah, exactly. It does. It gives you, it's the same as taking a whole load of stuff to charity shop. All of a sudden you feel that you're really in control. I think it's really important. We can't, in this day and age, when everyone's struggling a little bit for money, we can't just let all this money go without being in control of it. And so it is a big age process. We have to declutter our paperwork. We need to organize it. We need to categorize it. We need to be in control of that paperwork. And then only then, I guess, can we be in control of the money that we've got and really look at it. It's the kind of fine tuning. So it's the last part of the exercise, really. But that's what it's all about, gaining that control back into your family, into your home, and into your paperwork, into your life, into your finances. It's got such a fantastic knock-on effect.
Couldn't have said it any better, Lesley. So I think we've got everything covered for our listeners.
I think there's actually a million other things that we could talk about in terms of finance, but we've covered some basics. Hopefully we've given people a little bit of food for thought in terms of some things that they could think about doing, to try and save themselves a little bit of money. And so, I've really enjoyed it. I love saving money and I love doing paperwork. So.
I know. Well,
we're in our element, aren't we, talking about this stuff?
Yeah. Paperwork is we love it. So Listeners, we hope that you're starting to enjoy your paperwork, decluttering and organizing as well. And that's it for this episode. And we hope you've all enjoyed listening and are inspired to take action. And let us know in the comments how you get on. And if you're able to save any money or share your stories in our Facebook community, the Declutter Hub community. So thanks for taking the time to listen today. If you'd like to get more tips and advice, please follow us on social media. And if you don't want to miss the next episode, don't forget to subscribe to the Declutter Hub podcast on iTunes and Stitcher. See you next time.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode of the Declutter Hub podcast. Check out declutterhub.com for more inspiration and don't forget to tune in next week.